Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, so I was minding my business and just kind of looking at videos on YouTube, and one was suggested to me that said The Gary Coleman Show, but it was like an animated title, right? I was like, The Gary Coleman Show, like, what's that? And I click on it, and it's a cartoon. And I've never heard of the Gary Coleman Show as a cartoon. So I was like, okay, keep going. So I see this opening, the intro, where he is an angel and he's given a halo, and then he like falls to earth into a city, and there's a whole bunch of people who are walking by, but they can't see him. So he's like, oh, that's right, my halo is on. So he takes the halo off, puts it in his pants, and all of a sudden people can see him. And then there's this weird, creepy man who turns around and looks like, I'm so evil. So I'm like, what the hell's happening? And then there's a part where like the kids are at this park, and this man, who I'm guessing is like a magician or something, puts a rain cloud right over them. But then the angel throws his halo, and then he starts making it rain like flowers and shit. Like, what the fuck is happening in this cartoon? So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me watch now and ask questions later, okay? So it ended up being the first episode. So what's happening is Gary Coleman is voicing an angel. Now ask me what his name is. Oh, is his name Gary Coleman? The answer is no. He's playing a character named Andy LeBeau. Or is it LeBeau? Nope, his name is Andy LeBeau. That's what it is. So I'm like, wait, hold on. How do you have the Gary Coleman Show, but his name ain't Gary Coleman on the show? Like, what? You know what? And then, did you ever watch that TV show Eve? And it starred the rapper Eve. And I think the opening song was like EVE. Like, wasn't it right? But then her name wasn't Eve on the show. It was something else. So I used to watch that show and be like, I'm sorry, why is this called Eve again? And her name ain't even Eve. Anyway, okay, that part. Okay, so he's reading a book, a big, huge book called like How to Be an Angel or something. And he gets to this part about levitation. And so he's like, okay, well, I can do levitation standing on my head. But he's like in the sitting position, upside down. He falls to earth. He's like, ooh, he makes a joke. All he does is just makes like smart ass jokes through this through this series. So anyway, for some weird reason, he's falling out of heaven onto earth and into a tree. And so below that tree are two people talking. There's a boy named Spence and a girl named Tina, who I see they're like brother and sister. So all of a sudden, Andy sticks his head out of the tree, and they're like, oh, hey, Andy. But, he took his halo off, because now, when he has the halo on, people cannot see him. But when he takes the halo off, he's this regular little boy in regular little boy clothes.
It's utterly stupendous, Tina. Imagine, an archaeologist right here in Oakville.
An archie what, Spence? Ooh, it's my dreamboat, Andy. What's cooking, Cupcake?
So they're like, oh, hey, Andy. And I'm like, hey, Andy, why do they know who he is? Like, didn't he just fall from heaven? Has he been there before? Now, mind you guys, this is the first episode, okay? So, so I'm like, okay, well, let me just not add, I'll just trust the process, okay? So the boy Spence is talking about there's like this archaeologist in town digging for new artifacts. And I guess he's like, well, I'm going to go. And the little girl's like, well, I'm going to go too. And they're like, come on, Andy, come with us. And he's like, okay, I'll meet you there. Okay, so Then we see that creepy man from the intro, right? Some child pedophile. And so he's all like, hey, Andy, you want to race? And then he ends up cheating and disappears. And then there's this, I guess, teacher angel lady. Her name is Angelica, or is it Angelina? It's Angelica. So what he does through this whole series is, instead of calling her Angelica, he says Angie. And she's always saying like, stop calling me Angie. Stop calling me Angie. So that gets annoying real quick.
How about a little race, LeBeau?
Hornswaggle. Just what I need. Like I need a case of measles.
Your humor matches your good deeds. Revolting. But
First time I was in a sack race against a real sack.
on the count of 3, I'll do the counting. 1, 2...
Wow.
Don't shoot him.
Lose something, LeBeau?
Huh? Yeah, Angie. A race and Hornswaggle.
Why, pray tell, don't I ever see this Hornswaggle? Because he doesn't exist, perhaps?
Oh my god, you guys. So, Angelina, and she cannot be seen by anybody. Andy can be seen if he has his halo off. And no one can see Hornswaggle except Andy. Don't know why this is so confusing. But I guess Hornswaggle can make himself seen when he needs to be, right? Okay, now hold that thought. So anyway, the Angie girl, she's always like, why are you talking to yourself, right? But then of course other people are like, why are you talking to yourself when he's talking to her? Because, you know, they can't see her. So I guess that's them establishing what's happening with this 3-way situation. Oh, and by the way, so you're like, well, who is this Hornswaggle? Like, what's Hornswaggle? That's a stupid name. Like, who is he? Like, what's his deal, right? Apparently, he's a demon. So I thought he was like this magician from the the intro, but no, he's a demon who is trying to foil Andy being good on Earth because he's in training to be an angel. So they're in this place called Oakville, I think, and I don't know why this demon fucking cares that this little boy is helping people, but that's what it is. They have no history. He's just like, hey, Andy, what are you doing? Well, I'm going to mess that up for you. That's it. So, back to Spence and Tina going to this archaeologist. So, apparently they're on this bicycle. Andy shows up magically out of nowhere, and he sees that the kids are on this bike, and I guess the brakes went out. So, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just appears behind this bike, trying to, like, slow it down. And he's like, hey, you guys, oh my God, what's happening? And no one's like, holy shit, Andy, where'd you come from? Like, we didn't pass you, but now you're literally right here. So, Andy helps them before they die and go over this cliff. And then, of course, they're like, oh, there's the archaeologist right there. Let's go tell him that we're here to help him. So then this guy, I guess, puts these kids to work, hard labor, and they dig this hole and they find a cave. So they're like, oh, let's go tell him. And then they're like, well, no, let's go look in it first. Like, what this guy does not need is damn kids dying. Do they have like permission slips? Anyway, they go into this cave that they just discovered and they don't tell no one about it. So they're going and they're like looking around in the dark, but you know, it's not dark because it's a cartoon, so whatever. But now there's this part where Hornswaggle has now changed his clothes and he's wearing this like oversized like Fred Flintstone looking shit. And he has like a club in his hand. So I'm guessing he's supposed to like hit them over the head or something. I don't know what he's trying to do. But Andy pulls at his clothes and rips them off. So now this dude is naked with like these red shorts on. But if you changed your clothes to like this caveman thing, are the kids supposed to see you do this? Like, what was the whole point? If they can't see you, why are you changing your clothes? So I'm guessing he was supposed to appear to them and, like, I don't know, beat the shit out of them. But now he's just standing there naked. So, oh gosh. So then he decides to cause a cave-in and block this entrance, like, for the kids to be stuck inside. But what I don't understand is, like, this entrance seems to be, like, 5 feet away from these kids. But they just walked through this whole cave system before they got to where they are. And you're telling me there was an exit, like, right next to them? Like, which means this cave's not new. Like, there's a hole right. I don't know, you guys. I don't know what's happening. So, you know, they leave and that episode's over. So this show is a 30-minute cartoon and it's broken up into 2 segments, right? So that's the first segment. I don't know what it was called. But I'm realizing what's happening. Like, oh, okay, another one's about to come on. So the second one starts playing. So Andy's back in heaven. He's now reading a comic book. And then Angie appears. And then she's like, LeBeau, you gotta go do your homework. LeBeau. Oh my God. This lady says his name. She just says LeBeau. She always addresses him by his last name. But like, she's always LeBeau, LeBeau. Oh my God.
Good morning, Oakville. How's my town doing? Nothing shaking. How about that? Hey! Looks like Guardian Angel LeBeau lucked out today.
Wings malfunctioning, LeBeau.
Oops! you kidding, Angelica? They're flapping like a hysterical hummingbird.
So he goes back down to Oakville and he hears like this crash. And now we're introduced to another regular kid who's going to be popping up. Well, actually 2. Well, no, 3. Now we learn 3 more kids in this show. So now we have this little white boy named Bartholomew. And I guess Bartholomew's thing is like, he's clumsy. So he's trying to find stuff for this auction. So he's on this ladder, but now he's about to fall on the ladder and Andy has to help him.
Yep, just what the angel ordered.
Okay, now first of all, Andy whistles for his halo to come back to him, but Bartholomew never says anything. So if I just fell off a ladder into a chair and then I hear, I can't do that whole like, I would turn around and be like, you talking to me? Like, who are you whistling at? But no, did he not hear the whistle? Like, okay. So anyway, there's this girl. Her name is Lydia. Now, Lydia is this rich bitch. Okay. She's snobby. She's, of course, I'm so perfect. Like one of those characters. And Bartholomew is in love with her. So he's like swooning over her.
I got a feeling he likes Lydia. Yep, I was right. He's really falling for her.
And then all of a sudden we cut to the next scene and she's like, well, I have this bicycle I'm donating. But then we see Andy carrying all this shit. And she's calling him weird and everything, but it's like her shit. So who told Andy to take it? That's so racist. No, but seriously, like, he's carrying this stuff. She's talking shit about him, like, oh, he's so weird and all this stuff. But, like, why is he carrying it? Like, no one ever said, like, can you pick this stuff up and carry it to the auction? Where's the auction? How far away is the auction?
Gee, Lydia, you're really donating this swell bike to the auction?
Of course, silly. The tires need air. Careful with that auction load, LeBeau. There's something weird about that kid.
So Andy ends up dropping everything on the ground because he runs into this girl named Chris. And so, like, no one's concerned that all this shit just fell. But apparently it's not broken because it ends up in the auction anyway. So anyway, we're introduced to this girl, Chris. So Andy starts walking with Chris down the street. And then I guess now he actually offers to carry something. She has like these barbells. And he's like, well, I'll carry them. And he does. And they start rolling down this hill. This town that they're in is like, it just all of a sudden gets hilly when it needs to get hilly. Like anytime something has to roll down the street away from people, all of a sudden the street would just turn to a hill. But when they're just walking, it's just a straight street, right? So anyway, he's carrying these weights. He drops them. They start rolling, right? So as he runs after them, he's about to hit this man that's standing at the corner. But the man all of a sudden disappears. And he's like, what? That's weird. And then when he reappears, it's that damn Hornswaggle guy, right? So even Andy does something where he has to use his halo and disappear or whatever, right? But the whole thing is like, is Chris still at the top of this hill watching all this? Because that means he would have had to disappear in front of her. And one of the rules from the Angie Angel is like, don't reveal your powers to anyone. Don't reveal this. Don't reveal that. So that is just a weird ass scene.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm gonna... Not now, Angelica. Can't you see I got Hornswaggle on my back?
Blah! He can't see me, remember?
Now, we just cut to the next scene, and we just see them all in the park. All the kids are in the park, and then Andy walks up, and he's like, hey, what's going on, you guys? And they're like, oh my God, this is going to be the best, auction ever. That guy volunteered to be the auctioneer, and it's Hornswaggle. So now, he just appeared to these kids, and so now they can see him. So I guess he just has that power to turn it on and off, I guess, whatever. So of course, Andy's like, what is he up to? So then Hornswaggle starts to make it rain, and then Andy causes it to hail, and then Angie had to come and fix that to make it back to it being sunny.
Now I wish I had done my homework in climate control class. Got it. Don't die. Oh. How about that? I did it. I knew I could.
Hey, the auction's doing great.
Yes, in spite of the unusual climate phenomena.
He means that freaky hailstorm we had.
But as soon as it becomes sunny, this one girl is like, whoa, this auction's great. Which sounds like people are buying shit. But you never hear Hornswaggle, okay, I got this other one, 200, or something. He has not said a word this whole time, but apparently this boy just bought something. Who'd you buy that from? It was just raining and hailing. The sun literally came out a second ago, and you're just like, oh, I got my purchase. Okay, so what's this guy's name? Hornswaggle. There's this boy walking, and he puts his skate down to cause this boy to trip because he's so evil. And Andy takes all this time, he sees it, says something stupid, goes under the table, but the whole time, that boy would have tripped a long time ago. You just wasted so much time to say what you need to do and get under this table and hide and whatever. We already saw the boy was taking a step. So the timing is just off.
Oops. I knew Hornswaggle had more tricks up his sleeve. Great shot! Bad rebound.
Come to Papa.
But anyway, he uses Halo to save the kid from falling on the skate. But his Halo ends up ricocheting away. And Hornswaggle catches it and puts it in a security box. Or, a cigar box. Okay, wait, no, hold on. Hornswaggle takes Andy's Halo, puts it in a cigar box, and then is kind of tricking Andy into saying numbers. So he can be like, okay, 1. You said 1, so $1. But of course, Andy's an angel, doesn't have any money. So Andy says something else, and then it turned, to 2. He goes, $2. And then that bitch Lydia is like, well, if Andy wants that cigar box, I want it too. Because why is he bidding money on it? Because bitch, it's an auction. That's what you do. If you want something, you.
Just 1 minute.
Aha! The young man bids $1.
That creep knows I don't have any money. For 2 cents,
Correction, $2. There.
Oh,
See? I told you he was strange.
Do I hear $3? Going.
$3.
$3 for a cigar box?
If Andy wants it, so do I. $10.
$15.
$25.
25 going once, going twice, and sold. Thank you, miss. It's for a good cause.
yeah. The louse-up little old LeBeau Foundation.
Egad! What have I done? I had that do-gooder's halo in my grasp and sold it to her.
So then this box get up to like $25 or something. And he ends up giving the box away. But then he goes, oh, wait a minute. The halo was in the box. So now I want the box back. So you put the halo in the box and then started auctioning off the box to later realize that you put the halo in the box. So why didn't you just...
Excuse me, my dear. I am prepared to donate $50 to the auction if I may have that silly box.
You've got a deal.
And I got trouble.
You can say that again, LeBeau.
Who but you?
I know somebody who just did. Bullseye!
Y'all, okay. I don't know, the episode ends. I don't even know anymore. Look. Y'all, okay, so that is the first episode. So the first episode has the 2 segments, okay? So we have established that he has to go to this Oakville, and he seems to only be helping these kids. Okay, fine, whatever. He's a kid, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. It's not addressed on like... So apparently these kids just think that he is this random kid that lives there, walks around and does all this shit. Like, there's 13 episodes, I think, right? 13. I watched them all. There's no backstory or anything. They never show like an episode where they go to school, because how come no one's like, where do you live? Like, where? Oh, they tried to go to this house one time. That stupid bitch Lydia. She was she was trying to mail him a letter. Like, he's standing next to her, and she goes, "What's your address so I can mail this invitation to you?" And he's like, "Just fucking give it to me." And she's like, "No, I have to make it formal to put it in the mailbox." Blah, blah. So he's trying to, so of course he has no address. He's like, "Bitch, give it to me. I'm standing right here." I gotta mail it. Give me your address. Oh my God, I want to slap the shit out of her. Why do they? So it's not explained like why people know who this kid is. So I had to do a little digging, okay, and just figure out what the fuck is happening in this cartoon. So so this cartoon came out in 1982. Okay, it lasted 1 season, and I know why. It's just fucking awful. So this cartoon is actually based on a TV movie called The Boy with the Broken Halo, which starred Gary Coleman. Okay, he's this angel, and he's playing pranks on his teacher. What's this guy's name? Remember, he played Benson? I always mess his last name up. It's like Guillermo or something. I don't know. But actually, there's a whole bunch of people in this movie, you guys. You got Thelma Hopkins, Kim Fields, Keith Coogan, what's that? Feldman, Corey Feldman. You don't see him till the end though, but it's him. So he's this angel who has to like kind of prove himself because he's playing jokes on his teacher and blah, blah, blah. So he has to prove to this higher angel that, you know, he could do the job and whatever and be someone's guardian angel. So he's sent to Earth to fix like the lives of 3 people. And then in the end, he proves it and he becomes an angel. And when he goes, and his name is Andy LeBeau. So his name is Andy LeBeau in the movie. I don't know how far apart these things premiered from each other, but I guess they wanted to make a cartoon version of this movie, so they did. But if you watch the cartoon and then watch the movie, you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like, he comes to Earth and everyone goes, hi, Andy. But they don't explain it. There is no explanation for anything. It just goes into, I am so pissed about this cartoon. Like, listen to me, guys. I'm so, like, worked up. And there's so many errors. Like, you know, sometimes you watch a cartoon, you're like, oh, animators missed that. Animators missed that. Like, the whole him putting the halo on and he goes angel mode and shit. Like, this is one episode where it ends and Angie comes down. Okay, first of all, Angie apparently is always just with him because he's always making comments like, ooh, I hope Angie didn't see it. And then she appears. She goes, I sure did. I was watching the whole time. Okay. Why are you invisible? And she's just over here just writing notes and shit. Like, go teach another person. But there's a part at the end of this one episode where he never put his halo on, which means he's a regular boy. But she grabs him and starts flying back to heaven. So I'm like, no one sees this boy because he's not in angel mode, but no one sees him going like into the sky higher and higher. So that was crazy. There's this one episode where Hornswaggle decides he's going to impersonate Angie. So he puts this mask on, but his whole body is still like the color of his body, which is kind of purplish. And Andy doesn't realize this. So I'm like, okay, so you're like in whiteface. Like, your whole body is this color, but your face is this color. And
Look alive, LeBeau. Yes, Angelica. Ma'am. Private LeBeau reporting.
That baby bird is your responsibility, LeBeau. You better not let anything happen to him.
there's this character, I don't remember his name, but he appears a few episodes later. And he's so annoying because everything he says is in rhyme.
Oh no, Haggle, they must have captured Andy too.
No, Spence. No, Andy. That's just dandy. That outer space race should get off their case. I'll do my bit. Come on, let's split. Hey, now, do you suppose those crazy threads are Martian clothes? And who would ever realize this groovy jumpsuit's just my size? Just put on the hat and dig a Martian cat. The space age sensing mighty tight. It doesn't let in any light.
So that got old real quick. And then there's this other episode where that Lydia bitch is, she's making a movie. And this guy does a shameless plug of Gary Coleman, like he mentions Gary Coleman's name.
Sam Starmaker here, big-time Hollywood talent scout. Got the tail end of that last scene. I just discovered Tinseltown's hottest new star. I'm talking hot. Hotter than Travolta or Brooke Shields or Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman?
All right, you guys, it was... Okay, hold on, let me just calm down. Because I'm just... Oh my God, I'm just watching it. I just keep getting like more mad and more mad. So, yeah. Fun fact from what I learned, when this show got canceled, a new show premiered in its place and was so much more successful. And what was that cartoon? Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Watch out, 'cause here we come. It's been a while, but we're back with style, so get.
You know what sucks is like, I've seen them bring back Alvin and the Chipmunks on TV shows, and they got those stupid ass live action movies that they made. But we had it so good in the 80s, but the problem is they sing so many songs in this cartoon that all that licensing would be like millions of dollars, I'm sure. And no one got time to be paying all that now. which is why you don't see the original Muppet Babies, because they took all those clips from movies and things. Like, no one got time to be paying like for permission to show that stuff now. So you can find them on episodes on YouTube, but the original Alvin and the Chipmunks, yeah, man, that was a shit. All right, okay, let me just stop talking. I just wanted to share this video with you guys because I just thought it was so funny. Maybe it's a good thing I never knew the show existed because it's just so stupid. All right, let me know if you ever heard of this cartoon. Did you used to watch it? Like I said, it only lasted one season, so. And apparently it was, I guess, showing on Cartoon Network, like Adult Swim, Boomerang. At one point, I guess there was a short run on it. I don't know if people just didn't watch it or what, but it didn't last that long on those channels. But yeah, it's an interesting watch. So, all right, you guys, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode. Okay. So until then, TTFN.